Yes, guys, and welcome to another video. So, Sunderland do take on QPR this weekend. It's a 12:30 kickoff, a lunchtime kickoff, which is our last game of the league season, of course, before the playoffs. Now, this is going to be very similar to the previous few videos you've seen. It's not going to be a proper preview because we don't know exactly what kind of team Rodgers is going to go for. Of course, we've been treating the last sort of 2 months essentially like pre-season games. I didn't do a review of the Oxford game as well because I was busy, but equally I couldn't be bothered. I could not find myself any motivation, and this is the least motivated I've felt all season. Not just to make videos or to do with Sunderland, but just about Sunderland in general. And that is the worst time for me to feel the least motivated when we're going into the most important part. And it is just because of stuff that we're getting reflected off the pitch, you know. And again, I'm going to be repeating myself a lot, but this is just what I've got to talk about. You know, for weeks now, Sunderland have been poor. We've lost the last 4 games. We drew the one before that. We scored 1 goal in the last 5. We're looking more uninventive as the game goes, as the games go on. And yeah, I know a lot of people have been calling for, you know, save your best players for the playoffs, which I do understand some arguments to that, but I did have a sort of, not a nice feeling, but it was a sort of like told you so moment when we played Oxford. Granted, they had the natural intensity of a team playing for something, and we weren't, but we did play largely our best possible team against them, and we looked shit. We didn't look sharp at all. There was no cohesion. We looked ineffective. We weren't creating anything. We didn't have a shot on target all game, and that was our best team. Again, you might say, oh, it'll be different against someone else in the playoffs because we'll have that intensity. But we just looked so poor, and people have been saying that we just want to keep our best players, then just throw them together for the playoffs. If we have that level of sharpness and that level of or lack of cohesion and throw them into the playoffs and expect them to do anything, we're screwed. And I think the playoffs semi-finals will be blown away after the first leg if we are anything like we were against Oxford, because that was horrendous. It was shocking that you could just see that it needed a run of games together, whether we won, you know, without win, lose or draw. Our best players needed a run of games together, and now we've only got 1 game left, and it's against QPR to at least try something. I'm happy it's a home game. I'm happy that a lot of players are coming back. I've seen that Mundell has been training again. I wouldn't expect him to start this game. However, I would like to maybe see him come on with even 10 minutes left, get him a few minutes in his legs, saying he is going to be potentially ready for the playoffs. You know, try and get that cohesion, try and get our best possible lineup. Because for me, our best possible lineup in terms of a midfield and attacking third, because I know that our defence can change on a flip of a coin, really, but with Daniel, Job and Lafay in the middle, and then Mundell on left and Roberts on the right, and then either Isidore or Mayenda up top, that is an incredibly dangerous and on paper very good looking midfield and final third. However, we never see it, and I don't think we've ever seen that whole lineup together at all this season, so it would be nice to see it at least a little bit before the playoffs. We have been, the lads and of course the team itself, they have been away on warm weather training. They've gone to Portugal, and as Lafay has mentioned in an interview just today, or at least it was published today, saying that it's a nice opportunity for them to reset and, you know, reflect on the season as a whole as we do enter these latter stages of the season. He said, you know, the team are fully aware and they're kicking themselves of how bad they've played recently. The standards are very, very high and they haven't been hitting them anywhere near. So it's nice to hear that. But again, we've been hearing this for weeks from different players or Rodgers himself, and then we expect a bounce back or a response, and we're just not seeing it. In fact, we're looking worse. But he did, of course, say that they're ready to fight for every ball. The passion's going to be there. And I want to see that against QPR. Again, you can't manufacture intensity and passion. It has to be naturally felt. And against a team like QPR, and in a game against QPR where it doesn't mean anything, you might not quite get that passion, but in that one game, that one opportunity, we'll see it as a practice run, pay the disrespect to QPR if you want, but we should at least just go for it. Try to play the same level of intensity, or at least nearly the same level of intensity that we would like to see in a playoff game. Really go at them, rut home, control the game, and just take risks. Take opportunities and go for it, because what we've seen recently is awful. And if we manage to somehow get a 3-4-0 win against QPR, which I don't think is going to happen, by the way, it would give the lads a world of confidence, because it would be a clean sheet and we're starting to score goals again. It'd come at the perfect time because Isidore's not scoring goals. Of course, Mayenda's still doing taking precautions for the head injury, for the concussion guidelines. So Isso's going to be starting. It'd be nice to see him get a goal. However, if you look at QPR, they're finished 15th, or they're going to be finishing around that area anyway, and depending on results. But they got battered 5-0 last time out against Burnley. Their manager, he's now gone on gardening leave. I believe he's trying to manufacture a move to West Brom. At least that's what reports are suggesting. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. So it'd be quite a good time to catch them as well. And it'd be a nice time for us to try and kick on. However, I think this has got 0-0 written all over it. QPR, they have got players. We know Jimmy Dunn, he's been there for a little bit now, and I do like him as a defender. Elias Chair is always a player that seems to be a thorn in our side when we play him. So it's not going to be an easy game at all, but it's a game that we really, really need to up the tempo, up the intensity to the max, ready for the playoffs, and not just to get a result for the sake of getting a result. As I keep on saying again and again and again, to get these fans on side again. It's not like the fans are all totally against the side at the minute, but everyone is so deflated. And like I mentioned earlier, at the worst possible time, because this is the most important time in the season. And I'm feeling like I'm on my holidays at the moment, just because of what I'm seeing on the pitch. And I'm sure, of course, just naturally, when it does get to the week of the playoffs, nerves will up, and then the passion and the enthusiasm will just naturally build up. But we should be there now. We should be there like, I can't fucking wait to get into him. Do you know what I mean? To whoever we take on in the playoffs. Can't wait. And I cannot be arsed, which is just mental. We need to start seeing it on the pitch. Of course, support the lads. They're a young set of lads. Let's get behind him. Let's make some noise. But again, you can only feed off what you see on the pitch. And when you just fed shit after shit after shit performance, it's hard to be like, yes, come on, let's go for it. It's difficult. It's so unnatural. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, hopefully we do see a decent performance against QPR. I will be doing a review on that game as well. Like I said, in the build-up to the playoffs, we'll be doing a bit more and proper previews to the game, not just rambling like this, because I am getting bored of it. I think that's just the nature of the beast when you're pretty much solidified 4th place in frigging January. Do you know what I mean? And it's been solidified since then, so it is a bit of a difficult one. But yeah, so Lafayette came out and he's said his piece that they've gone to Portugal, which I think was amusing. Apparently we've got warmer weather than they have at the minute back in England, and also they went exactly at the time in typical Sunderland fashion where there was a national power cut basically over there. So it was typical Sunderland, but from the pictures you see, you can glean that they're all having a good time. They seem to be in good spirits, and I think it probably was the right time to get themselves away, remove themselves from the usual day-to-day life of the Academy of Light and doing the same training, and getting into that habit of training, going out, losing, playing shit, going back to Academy at training. So I think it's good to try and create a disconnect now, take them away, start from the basics, and from where we were in pre-season as well, of course. Sorry, pre-season, what am I talking about? Just heading towards basically going abroad is essentially what I'm saying. It's almost like starting again, isn't it? Going abroad, creating the sort of pre-season vibes, but then match it, but then getting that intensity back into the legs when they come back, ready for competitive football. But yeah, so I'm excited to see how they are from here, how they are from this warm weather training. Hopefully they have got some momentum back, they've got the confidence back, and hopefully we see a really, really good performance. Because like I said, if we manage to get away with a good performance, even if it's only like a 1-0 win, but we absolutely batter them and we make chance after chance after chance, and maybe it's just a load of class saves or just missing the target or whatever it is, it will get the fans on side again, because you've got the winning mentality back and the performance is there. But of course, equally, it'd be just as good if we won 4 or 5-0 and we look like we're just smooth as butter and we're cutting through them like the no tomorrow. That'd be perfect. But I think in a realistic world, I genuinely think it's going to be 0-0, because we do look that shit. See what I mean? I'm like bipolar with the way that I'm talking in a minute, but that's how difficult it is trying to get yourself up for it at the moment. But yeah, again, apologies. It is just, again, it's a bit of a ramble. One of them. Thought I'd give you at least a little bit of content. Like I said, I will do a review on Saturday as well. And then going into playoffs, I'll try and be a little bit more active if they make me happy. We'll see anyway. But let me know down below, how do you feel about the team at the moment? Are you confident heading into the playoffs or not? Would you start saving players for the playoffs? But again, like I said, we played our best players pretty much against Oxford, and we look just as shit as the games prior. In my opinion, we look really, really poor. That's why I just think we needed a few more games of our best players together to get that cohesion and get that momentum, and we don't have it. So hopefully we do get it against QPR. But yeah, let us know what you think. And what is your prediction for the game in terms of a scoreline? What do you think? But let us know. Do us a favour, hit the like button for me. It really, really does help out and it puts a smile on my face. Subscribe if you are new. Heading into the playoffs, there's going to be a lot more excitable content, not just me sit here and moaning. I say that, it could easily be me sit here and moaning, but it'll be a lot more passionate. It'll be a lot less laid back because I'm going to be jumping, raving, shouting, screaming, swearing, crying, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so subscribe if you are new. Take care for now. Stay jammy. Enjoy your weekend. Away the lads.